Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. And before we get to our guest today, we have a big shout out for Living Sisu. Living Sisu is a platform and app that wants to give you all the tools to have success in your sport. Their main objective is to activate your lifestyle. So it's for active people. Enjoy discounts at companies like BioSteel, 30% off, Body Logics, the Goalie Guild, all his books are discounted. Roan, Lululemon for men, 20% off, online stretching programs with Eccentrics, 1 full month free. They got super silent massage guns, 20% off those. And it's a great quality. It's way less expensive than a Theragun, and it's great quality. So there's so many more discounts that you guys will need to just become a member to see. So they want to provide you with anything you need for success. So come join the community. I'm a part of it. A bunch of other athletes are a part of it. So it's free to join. It takes 20 seconds to get exclusive offers to your sport, and it's definitely worth it. So do us a huge favor and go sign up for Living Sisu's membership. It's free, 20 takes 20 seconds. So go do it, and we'll see you there. Living Sisu is a great company. We know one of the co-founders, Zach Fricali. He's a great guy. He's the co-founder. He does a lot of live streams on Instagram at Living Sisu, and with a bunch of elite athletes, and you learn a lot from like the athletes' determination, their resiliency, everything to made them become successful. So it's been a great experience so far. So go on. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. So go sign up. Yo, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and in today's episode, we are joined by a very special guest, current professional goaltender Peyton Jones. Payne most recently played NCAA Division I hockey for Penn State University. He also played juniors in the USHL for the Lincoln Stars, and now he is signed to a professional contract with the AHL's Colorado Eagles, but is spending time in the East Coast right now with the Utah Grizzlies. So excited to have you on, Peyton. So let's get this thing started. So welcome to the show, Peyton Jones.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I know we've had a bit of trouble scheduling, but it's finally good to get you on, and it's well worth the wait. So let's not waste any more time and just hop right into it.
For sure.
Yeah. So how have you been? Like these past few weeks have been crazy for you. So like, what's been going on there, and how's Utah going?
Yeah, so it was kind of crazy. Like I was just home training, and then the Saturday before Thanksgiving, Saturday night, I got a call and from Colorado, and they're like, yeah, like we're sending you to Utah to start the year, and kind of had to like pack my bag Sunday and left Monday morning. So it's been crazy, just drive 38 hours across the country within with short notice, but I'm able to play hockey during a crazy time like this, so I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, what was that 38 hours of driving like, and just driving cross country and just thinking that you're finally gonna get to play some hockey?
Yeah, it was exciting. I've been waiting for it for a while. I mean, I signed back in like May, I think it was. So it's been a long time coming, but a lot of time to prepare on and off the ice, and physically, mentally. So it was good, ready to get going.
Yeah, for sure. So can you give our viewers like a little background information on yourself, like when you started playing hockey, why you started, and like some of the teams you played on growing up?
Yeah, so I when I was like 4 years old, my dad took me to a Flyers game, and that's kind of how I got started with hockey. It was never in my family. My dad played baseball, football, basketball, and so that's kind of how hockey started for me. And I grew up, I started playing as a player. I wanted to be a goalie, but my dad wanted me to skate out and kind of learn the game first. And then when I was 8 years old, I started being a goalie, and I played in the Philly area my whole life. Started playing AAA when I was probably like maybe like 12 or 13 for Team Comcast. Played there for 6 years in Jersey. Then played for the New Jersey Rockets my U16 national year. Then my U18 year, my first year U18, I played for the Junior Flyers, and then was drafted by Lincoln at a high school my senior year, and went to the USHL. Played 2 years in Lincoln. Committed to Penn State during my second year in October, and then played 4 years at Penn State, and then in May signed with an AHL deal with Colorado.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, like you said, you played AAA hockey with for Team Comcast, New Jersey Rockets, and the Philadelphia Junior Flyers. Like, what was your experience playing high level of hockey in AAA and like being able to play AAA hockey?
It was awesome. Honestly, it was really cool to live at home too. Like I know a lot of kids my age, they're going away to play and going to prep school, like going to the USHL and stuff. And for me, like I liked being home. I was able to play hockey, able to develop, able to graduate high school back home, and then start my career, my real hockey career. So it was nice to be able to play at home, develop at home, and kind of have my family there to support me and everything while I was younger.
Yeah, that's awesome. You played prep hockey too, right?
I just played for the high school that I went to. It was just
Yeah.
a
So,
local high school. So
was that like, and just playing for the high school and also playing AAA hockey as well?
yeah, it was pretty cool. Could be a lot sometimes. You have like high school game Thursday, Friday, and then AAA games on the weekends. But I think when you're young, it's important to play a lot of hockey. Especially as a goalie, like see a lot of shots, play a lot of games. For me personally, I believe that practice is important, but playing games is important too. Like sitting on the bench is you got to play to learn to develop. The game is a lot different than practice. So.
Yeah, for sure. So throughout like high school, you put up really good numbers. You're a 17-4-4. It's like, what do you think helped you become so successful throughout your time in high school and AAA hockey?
To be honest, like back then, I just had fun. I loved hockey. I loved playing, and I never really thought about like playing juniors or I always wanted to like play hockey in college. And but when I was younger, there like I didn't, no one was looking at me and stuff. I just was going out and having fun and playing, and I think that's when I'm at my best. You go out and have fun. Like yeah, hockey's can be a business, and USHL or junior coaches looking at you, talking to you, college coaches, pro coaches when you get to the higher levels. But I think you just got to bring it back to just when you first started out, just having fun and loving what you do.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like a lot of people have so much success when they're having fun, just not worrying about like all the business side of everything, and just focus on just having fun. Like that's how I've seen that I've played my best games, just when I'm having fun, not worrying about anything. So it's definitely good to hear that, and just how you're having fun. Like success came to you because you're having fun.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So then you get drafted by Lincoln in the USHL. It's like, what was the process like for getting drafted at the time of when you got drafted in the USHL?
Yeah, so my senior year, I was talking to NA teams and some USHL teams, and I never thought I'd get drafted that high. And then we went to nationals actually my U18 year, my senior year of high school, and I had a really good nationals. We didn't win it, but I played really well. And after that, I had a bunch of teams calling me, and the draft was a couple weeks later. And Lincoln ended up drafting me in the fourth round. And a couple weeks later, I was leaving for camp and stuff and getting out there. But the first year was tough. It was like a transition year. There was a lot of young guys, a whole new coaching staff and everything. So we weren't that good that year. I think we won like 15 or 16 games. So that was tough. For me, it was definitely a big learning curve. Um, playing at a higher level, older guys, stronger guys, more skilled players from all over. The USHL, it's the best junior league for a reason. It's the best of the best guys. I mean, you look at every roster, every guy's got committed to college or drafted and stuff like that. So I think for me, the first year was just really learning, learning the game, learning what about myself, what I need to improve on, and then I went home that summer and worked on all that stuff and came back my second year and had a much better year.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, what would you do to help learn some of the things you needed to in the USHL, and then apply it to your game, and in order for you to be successful at that level and just compete with the guys that you're playing with?
I think it's just like every time you get to a higher level, like you realize how good guys are and how much harder you have to work. Like like you think you're working hard, but you're never working hard enough, right? There's always someone out there that's working harder and doing things to be the best. So I think for me, it was just I saw like how long those practices were, how hard my goalie partner worked, how hard my teammates worked, and all that stuff like in the gym on the ice. And I think I went home that summer and watched some video. Like there's certain parts of my game where I went back, and even still now, like to this day, that I I'll play a game and I'll go back and say, like I need to work on that. I need to improve on that. And I think it's just every day, like learning, having a learning mentality. The best goalies in the world get scored on. And that's kind of something that I kind of preach to when I talk to like younger kids, like you can't worry about getting scored on, right? Like Carey Price, people say he's the best goalie in the world, or Vazzy like just won the Vezina, like he won a Stanley Cup, or no, he didn't win the Vezina, sorry, he won the Stanley Cup, and like he gives up goals, right? Like you're gonna give up goals, you just gotta learn from every goal you give up, and work to be the best every day.
Yeah. So what is that process like? Just breaking it down for everyone, just to have that mindset to get better and just to learn. So like, what would you do to help yourself learn? Would you like watch a video of like a ton of guys and then just try to implement that in your game, or like what would you do to help yourself get
Yeah,
that better?
yeah, I'm a big video guy. I watch a lot of hockey. I watch NHL hockey all the time. Just watching different goalies, seeing different things they do. Every goalie's different, right? It's like same thing in football or baseball. Like no one has the same swing. No quarterback throws the same. Like no goalie's the same, right? So you can't like try and say like, oh, I'm going to play like that goalie. Like for me, it's I watch a bunch of different goalies. I watch every goalie. Say like you take bits and pieces of everyone's game and kind of add it to your toolbox and figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and I think that that's huge for me is, watching other goalies and then watching myself. Like I'm a huge critic of myself. I watch video all the time. After a game, I'll spend an hour after the game, watching all my puck touches, all shots against, chances against, like, bad rebounds, like just, finding different ways and, watching the game, because when you're playing the game, it's one thing, but when when you can sit back and actually watch it and see different things you're doing wrong, it's, that's how I learned personally.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's so much easier to pick things out when you video yourself and like watch video and just be able to pick things out that you wouldn't be able to like if you didn't watch the video and you weren't paying that close attention to your game. Like it just shows that once you do that, like you can definitely improve just by being like, oh, I had a bad rebound there, bad goal. Just fix the simple things and just get yourself to be better the next time you go to practice, next time you have a game. Just focus on the little things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you played 2 years in Lincoln. So like what was that second year like in Lincoln? Just was it a lot better than the following year where you guys only won like 15 games? Like what was that year like for you?
I mean, I think as a team, we had a really good team that year. A lot of guys coming back, returning, so we had more experience. But for me, it was the same way. Like I said, I learned the first year. Like I went from, playing AAA hockey back in Philadelphia in the Tier 1 Elite League to, going to, which people say is the best junior league in America. So the guys were better, more skilled, bigger, stronger, and so I think I just had to learn and adjust. And like I said, it's like the first time you do something, it's hard, but when you keep doing it over and over and over again, you start to understand it and pick it up and get it. And I think that's what it was for me. I got a lot of reps my first year and wasn't the most successful. And like I said, went back, watched some video, made some adjustments, saw what was good, saw what was bad, and then went in with a positive learning mentality my second year and played a lot better.
Yeah, for sure. So going back to your first year a little bit, like mindset's a huge part of goaltending. So you guys obviously weren't winning as much as you guys would want to and wasn't having that great of a year. So like what was the mindset one of the hardest things to keep under control, especially when you're getting scored on, not winning games? And so like how would you enter like the mindset game and just try to focus on staying positive even though when things aren't going right for you guys at all?
Yeah, I think that's the hardest time, right? Like when you're winning every game, everything's going good, like everyone's happy, like everyone's good, right? It's when you're losing, like that's when it shows the character of guys and stuff. Who you're losing, like who's working harder to make sure you don't lose again. Who's getting better, who's putting in the extra work. And for me, like mentally, like it was a grind. It's draining. You train all this time and you don't train to lose, right? You train to win. So losing and not being successful my first year was hard. And I think for me, I had to just learn to one day at a time, right? Every day, try and get better and work on different things. And, if I have a bad game, if we lose, if I give up bad goals, like just, go to bed that night, erase it from my mind and wake up the next morning with a fresh mindset.
Yeah, for sure. So would you like do different mindset like techniques to keep your mindset in check, or would it just like you just go with the flow and just hope and just train yourself to stay positive at the worst times?
I really believe in breathing. I mean, like in the game, like sometimes just like getting asleep, like if you can't fall asleep after the game, like I think breathing's huge. And for me, like, just relaxing myself and my body. And I think that, like during a game, like you're not having a good game, take a couple deep breaths, like relax, relax yourself, relax your body, or same thing like trying to go to sleep, like take some deep breaths, relax yourself, relax your body. It all works the same. So I think for me, that's something that I definitely do. And then, once I got to Penn State, we had some sports psychologists that I worked with on different things. And so that was nice to have as well.
Yeah. Did you do like any different breathing techniques? Like, would you do like the box breathing? Like I know a lot of people say they do. So like, what techniques would you use during that time?
I wouldn't say those like specific techniques. I just, for me, like, deep breaths in and out, they tend to relax me and kind of settle me in a little bit. And so that's something that I've always, used personally in order to help me. But I think that everyone's different. Everyone has different ways of doing things, different techniques, and different things that helps them.
Yeah, for sure. So going into like at practice, like how important is practice to like just to not like half-ass it, just give it full 100% every time, just to just take everything away from practice and just focus on getting reps and getting better.
Yeah, I'm a big believer that you practice like you play a game. Like every shot, every rep is like game 7. That's kind of how I've always practiced, and I think perfect practice makes perfect play. You can't just go through the motions in practice. You have to be perfect, right? And
Yeah.
you're never going to be perfect. That's an expression, obviously, but you have to practice like you're going to play in the game. Everything, rebound control, tracking, edges, angles, puck playing, like all the above. Like you have to treat every single play, every single shot, like even if it's the drill's over and guys are playing the rebounds out. Like I'm the kind of guy where I play that stuff out. That's just little details that might not mean anything at the time, but they're setting you up for success later on.
Yeah, and I just feel like rebound control and just like all that's super important during practice too, and just covering every rebound, just because you wouldn't just leave it out during a game, you'd cover it. So just practicing that and having like the mind the mindset to just cover everything and just play everything like an actual game, and it'll help elevate your game for sure. Make sure
Absolutely.
you're ready as well.
Yep.
Yeah, so then your last year in Lincoln, you guys made a playoff push and you played in 4 games during that stretch. So what was playoff hockey like in Lincoln, and how did the series go for you guys?
It was good. We had, I think it was 2 games in Lincoln, 2 games in Waterloo, and then we were supposed to go back to Lincoln. And then we ended up losing in game 4 in double overtime in Waterloo. But I mean, playoff hockey is playoff hockey. I mean, the USHL, college, NHL, like it's always going to be a little more, a step higher. Everyone's going a little bit harder, giving a little extra because, I mean, it was a 5-game series, right? You get 5 games to win 3, or in the NHL, you got, 7 games to win 4. Like the intensity's higher. Like no matter what level you're at, the playoffs are always, a little more intense and, a little more on the line.
Yeah, so would you say that playoff hockey is a lot more fun to play than the regular season? Just like all the adrenaline from playoffs, and just it just means so much more when you're in the playoffs and to make it all the way to the finals.
For sure, 100%. Playoff hockey, it's the best time of the year.
Exactly. What were some of the things you learned during that playoff run? Because it's a lot higher level of a game at that point. It's like I'm sure there's stuff you learn and pick up even during like after the regular season, just going into the playoffs.
I think every shot matters. You learn that like in the playoffs, like games are tight. 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. Like they're 1-goal games most of the time, right? So every shot matters. Like, you cannot take a second for granted. You can't take anything off. You got to be dialed in for the full 60 minutes. And I think that's something that I learned. I don't know if it was in the USHL or earlier than that, but I mean that's playoff hockey, right? Every second matters.
Exactly. One shot can make a huge difference, and one whistle could result in a goal or a no goal
Sure,
and lose the game or win the game from that. So it's super important.
for sure.
So, like, what was your favorite part of junior hockey during your time in Lincoln, and just being able to play at at the top level junior team in the U.S.
Um, it was good. I mean, I love Lincoln. I love the juniors. Living away from home, it was my first time. So that was definitely an adjustment for me. But it was cool, living with your teammates and, going to the rink, working out, having practice, coming home, hanging out, like having a lot more free time. So that was definitely, being able to manage my time, but it was nice to be able to, just kind of focus all of my attention on hockey.
Exactly. So like how hard was time management for you at that point? Just how are you able to separate everything you had to do from playing hockey?
I would say time management for me was a lot harder in college when you have classes and stuff because you go from USHL like work out in the morning, practice, and kind of have like the day to do whatever. But in college, like you got work out in the morning, couple of classes, got to grab lunch, meeting, practice, more classes or study hall, and before you know it, like it's like 10 o'clock and you got to go to bed and set your alarm for 6 a.m. the next day. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think USHL is more, like you said, kind of like separating it, like not focusing on hockey all the time. In school, that's kind of easy because you're going to class. You have other things to do. But when I was in juniors, I didn't. So like getting my mind away from, being a hockey player, and that was kind of something that I had to like figure out how to do to not have hockey on my mind all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Because I feel like it's good to have those side things that you don't always have to focus on hockey. You just have those other things to focus on, like get away from the rink for a little bit and then come back the next day and and you're refreshed, refocus, and
For
it,
sure.
it works out for you. It works out for a lot of people as well.
For sure.
So then you go on to commit to Penn State. So what was that process like of playing at Penn State, and like what made Penn State the school for you to go to?
That was my dream school. Kid from Pennsylvania. I'm 20 minutes north of Philadelphia. So that was the school that I always wanted to go to. And, right around the time when they, I played hockey, baseball, and football. And I always wanted to go to Penn State for football. And then, kind of right around the time when I decided that hockey was, what I wanted to pursue is when Penn State got a Division I program. So kind of like all worked out. And it's kind of funny how it happened, but it's awesome. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen Pagula, you've seen videos or been there, but like it's every hockey player's dream, from the rink, the student section, the coaches, the locker room, training room, like just the way we get treated on the road, the way we travel, like the stuff we get, like it's one of, if not the best Division I programs that, I visited a couple places officially, unofficially, like it's the best place that I've ever came across for college hockey for sure.
That's awesome. Just how like you're able to just get situated with at Penn State and just be so close to home and just being able to enjoy where you're going to college, because that's the most important part, is just enjoying where you're at and just being able to do what you want where you want, and that showed for you.
Absolutely.
So did you have any expectations going into your first year of college hockey, or were you just like, I'm gonna give it everything I got and just see how it goes from there?
Yeah, that was my mindset. Going in that summer, like I wanted to play. I wanted to play, and so I worked my butt off to on the ice, off the ice, in order to be the best me going into school.
Exactly. So you played a ton of games that first year. You played 36 games, going 23, 10, 2. So like, were you like, you expected to play that many games? Were you like named the starter right away, or did you have to work your way up from there?
I had to work my way up. I mean, you're never just like given anything, right? You got to work for it. But I was in a good position with Eamon McAdams signing, a year early. Like the plan was for me to, him to be it was his senior year, him to be the starting goalie, me to be the backup, and then my sophomore year, obviously like worked to be the starting goalie, and then he ended up signing with the Islanders, and so the job was open, and me and Chris Funke battled it out, and he's a great goalie, great kid, still one of my best friends to this day, but it just worked out that I got the starting job.
Yeah, that's awesome. So like, what was the transition like from going to USHL to playing college Division I hockey? Like, what, and like some of the things you struggle with that you had overcome?
I think the biggest thing, like I said before, was time management. Like in the USHL, you had so much time, right? Like now you have class, like I said, meetings, study hall, like you have all that stuff that you have to like manage in your day. So obviously like you're going to college, like once again, guys are better, stronger, faster, older, like more experienced. So there's obviously an adjustment there, but it's not that bad. Like you learn, you adapt, a lot of practices prior to playing games. So you're able to transition. But like I said, the time management piece is probably the hardest for me.
Yeah, for sure. I get that fully. Just going into the season, like over the summer, did you like do anything differently to help you get prepared to play college hockey and be one of the best goaltenders in college hockey?
Not really. Just like I said, every day, like it's the little details, right? Like everyone can save the puck, everyone can skate, everyone can pass the puck. Like it's the little things that the angles, the depth, hitting your sweet spot in the RVH, like controlling rebounds. Like it's the little details that matter. And I think that for me, it was just focusing on those details and making sure that I was feeling as good as possible going into school.
Yeah, for sure. So you're a Big Ten champion, all tournament team, all rookie team, tournament MVP your first year. It's like, how much did winning the championship mean to you and all getting all these other honorables that you received?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was the first Big Ten championship in Penn State history, so that was, an honor to be a part of that and to win that with my teammates for the school.
Yeah, like what were some of the best memories from that first year besides winning? Like obviously a championship is gonna be one of your best memories. Like what like outside of like the playoffs, like what were some of your best memories from that season?
Um, I mean that's a tough one. Like you said, winning the championship is special. I think that whole weekend, because for us it was like kind of crazy. Like so we fly everywhere, we charter flight everywhere, so we're super, like I said, super lucky they take care of us, at Penn State. And I remember I think we played Michigan on Thursday, and we were supposed to fly out Wednesday morning, and it was like Penn State got a massive snowstorm and our flight kept getting canceled. Like we were literally sitting around like at the rink for like hours and hours. And so finally they're like, we got a bus. So like Wednesday night, like we got up on a bus, bus 9 hours. It was crazy. Like the heat on the bus like wouldn't turn off. So, like it was hot. Like we got there like 2 a.m, like had to get up for breakfast the next day, pregame skate, like play a game. We ended up beating Michigan. The next day we had like a same schedule. We played Minnesota that night, double overtime game. We ended up winning, and then like quick turnaround the next day and double overtime against Wisco to win the Big Ten championship. So it was like a crazy weekend because like everything like the travel didn't go our way, like this didn't go our way. Double overtime games, 3 games in 3 days. Like I think it was like 5, 10, like 13 periods of hockey in 3 days. Like it was crazy. Like my body, I was so sore, but that's part of, like I said, playoff hockey, championship hockey. So I think that was definitely like that whole weekend is definitely a weekend that I'll never forget.
Yeah, talk about unexpected events that it happened and just everything that happened. Just that's unreal. It makes the most memories when that stuff happens and you're just able
For sure.
to just just experience with your teammates. It's one of the best memories that you can make from that experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what was that double overtime game like against Wisco and just winning the championship after in double overtime? And like, what was that like whole feeling like when you guys actually scored the goal and to win the championship?
A relief. I was so tired. Like I can't really sleep after games sometimes. And so like we had that game right before, like got back to the hotel, like had meal. It was like 2 a.m, and like you're fighting to sleep and everything. You don't get to bed late, and you gotta get up for breakfast. And so I was just like tired, but it was just like just like seeing us win the game, like it was just like a relief. Like you can finally like take a deep breath, and like everything that the hard work we did all year and everything that we did paid off. So it was definitely nice.
That's unreal. That's super awesome. So like going back to like you had played like 13 periods in 3 days. Like what would you do to recover? Because that's a lot of hockey in 3 days.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in the foam roller, the cross ball, cold tubs. Doing everything to keep the body right. I have the hyper ice gun. Like I'm a big believer in recovery. So I'm always rolling out with the roller, the cross ball, hyper ice, like doing all that stuff, hot tub, cold tub every day, like doing everything possible to make my body feel the best it can be.
Yeah, for sure. And goaltending takes a big toll on your body, so it's always good to recover well and just be able to do anything you can to help your body and help yourself recover fast whenever
For
whenever
sure.
that whenever you have a game or
For
practice.
sure.
Yeah. So over the next 3 years, you played in 30 plus games each season, and you put up incredible numbers. So like, what do you think made you so successful throughout your time at Penn State, and like some of your favorite memories from those last 3 seasons?
I think successful. Like we had a great team, great coaches, great staff. Like we were, like I said, it's an amazing place. And I had great guys playing in front of me, and we were able to play as a team, and win a lot of big hockey games. I think that my favorite memories. I mean, I don't know. We played in a lot of nice arenas, like the Big Ten. Like I don't know if you ever watch like Big Ten hockey games, but like
Yeah.
I mean, like the Michigans, like the Wiscos, like Notre Dame, like Minnesota, like those places are packed every night, and it's unreal to like play in front of that atmosphere and have all the away fans like screaming at you and all that stuff. And it's pretty cool for me also to play at Wells Fargo in Philly. We played Princeton there. I want to say my freshman year and junior year, maybe freshman and sophomore, two of the years. I forget which year it was, but it was special to play, there and in front of family and friends.
Yeah, for sure. And those fan sections are one of the best in college hockey, and just fan sections are so much fun to be a part of. So like, have they ever chirped you? The fan section ever chirped you after you give up a goal or something like that?
Every goal. I get every goal, every game. I get messages on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. Like it's crazy, but it's all good. It's fun. I love it. And I'm sure they get the fans at Penn State, the students do the same thing to away goalies that come to our arena.
Yeah.
But it's all fun. But yeah, they're definitely on me for sure. I mean, I remember I've been like walking around town or like even in the rink, and like people like will see like Penn State and stuff, and they'll they'll chirp you or say something like smart. But it's all fun. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's what makes college hockey so much fun. It's just the crazy fan sections and everyone getting into it.
For sure.
So your senior year was a pretty special year for you. You went 18-3-9, along with being regular season champions and honorable mention All-Star team. So like, how special, despite COVID-19 coming into play, was your senior year and being super successful and winning so many games that last year?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, obviously, the whole COVID situation isn't ideal, but is what it is. I wasn't the only one going through it. Everyone had to go through it and battle through it. But, it was nice to win the regular season. That was the first time Penn State won the regular season as well. So it was nice to, kind of end my Penn State career with that and end on a win.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, what are the events that led up to COVID-19? Like, were you guys? I'm sure you guys were still playing. It's like, what happened going up to COVID-19, like for what you guys had left in the season?
So we finished. We had senior night against Minnesota. I want to say like I don't even know when it was, but I know that we had the next week was a bye week because it just happened that our bye week was the last week of the regular season. And then because we won the Big Ten, we had a bye week for the first week of playoffs, so we had another bye week. So we had played Minnesota, had a bye week. That was our regular season bye, then had another bye week. That was our playoff bye, then had another week to prepare to play Minnesota in the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament on Saturday, and the season got canceled on Friday. So it was like senior night, win the Big Ten regular season, practice and train for 3 weeks to get ready to play Minnesota in the Big Ten semifinals, and the day before it gets canceled. So
Dang, that's brutal.
yeah.
Were you guys flying out before that, or were you guys still at home when
No, the game
everything
was
got
at
canceled?
home.
So
Yeah.
that at least you didn't fly out to wherever you guys were playing. Just
Yeah, no, the
have to
game was at
come
home.
all the way back, and just like all the travel stuff that would have went on there, that would have been a lot more complicated.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So then during the summer this year, you signed a professional deal at the AHL level with the Colorado Eagles. So congrats on getting that contract. So like, what was the process like for you, especially getting especially this year, signing a pro deal despite all this craziness?
It was crazy. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. Like the season ended and kind of everything was on pause because no one knew it was happening. So, I had some conversations and some Zoom calls with different teams, throughout, the first, the first couple weeks, and then it was just kind of like, no one really knew what was going on, what was happening, and then, Colorado made the offer, and it was just, the right situation for me.
Yeah, for sure. And that's awesome. Then the ECHL is one of the only leagues playing, is the only league in America, I think, right now playing. So you get sent down to Utah to play some games. You get your first pro win. So congrats on getting your first pro win. So like, what has these past 2 games been like for you and just getting situated with pro hockey?
Um, I think it was a little bit of a learning curve, just like I said, every time you move up levels, guys are a little stronger, faster, like, this same thing. And my first pro game didn't go as planned. Lost to Rapid City 6-4, the Friday night. And then, like I said, went back, reviewed some video, saw some things I didn't like and need to improve on. And, went out the next night and was able to pick up my first pro win.
Yeah, so like what was that feeling like in finally getting that pro win after your first game didn't go as planned? So that must have been a huge relief for you.
Yeah, it was awesome. Nice to get it out of the way and, look forward to many more.
Yeah, for sure. So I got a few more questions for you. So do you have any tips for goalies looking to get to that next level and play at the highest level possible?
I think, like I said, working hard every day, always doing something to get better because, there's always someone else out there that's getting better. And for me, on the ice, off the ice, stick handling, reaction work, mobility, flexibility, like there's always stuff that you can improve on and get better. Or, if it's watching hockey and, picking up new things from NHL goalies or professional goalies or college goalies, whatever level hockey you like to watch. And so I think that, watching hockey, really being a student of the game, educating yourself, and then, going out and putting all that work together.
100%, totally agree with you there. So like what are some like pros and cons of practice? Like a con could be obviously like getting domed in the head, like stuff like just funny stuff like that.
Um, I don't know if there's any cons. I mean, for me, like if I get hit in the head, I mean, unless it happens 5 times in a row and guys are, aiming for my head, then I'm not too happy with it. But obviously, it's going to happen. But for me, I love practice. I look at it as an opportunity to work on new things. Get better, improve myself. And just work every day to try and get better and be the best me.
Yeah, that's a great mindset to have and everything going into practice. So my final question for you is like, what's your favorite pump up song?
Favorite pump up song, like all time or like at this like moment right now?
Doesn't matter. You pick either one.
All time probably Over by Drake.
That's a good
Um,
one.
and right now maybe Mr. Right Now. I'm not really sure. I'm a big Post Malone guy, but I don't know. He's not the big, he's not big into pumping up. But actually, I don't know. I'm a big Lil Uzi guy too. So his album Eternal Take is
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. So
Yeah, those are some great picks. But Peyton, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time and look forward to seeing how your career unfolds. And good luck the rest of the way in Utah and Colorado, wherever you end up.
yeah, thank you very much, man. Thank you for having me.